All right, so we are here live. I realize, of course, this stream is starting at 3 p.m. Of course, 3 p.m. Eastern time during a weekday. People are probably not at home. That's okay, of course, because I will have everything saved and ready for people to watch. Just trying to, get out some content here for everyone to watch. Of course, as you can see, the title, Top 5 Failures of Xi Jinping. I know, top 5, right? We should be doing a top 45, but we don't have time for that. Going to try to keep the video short today, the live stream short. Again, as I know that most people are probably busy, probably not at home, but that's okay. So, of course, let's go ahead and get to it. We're not going to wait today really for anyone or focus too much on comments. We'll probably read comments a little bit towards the end. But, of course, top 5 failures of Xi Jinping. Number one, without a doubt, has to be the handling of COVID. I mean, holy, you know what? The COVID situation. Not only did Xi Jinping fail to do well with COVID, the lack of transparency. When I was in China, we actually knew that COVID was something. We didn't know that it was COVID. The And this, of course, was in like November of that year when COVID had first, was first starting, and we were getting messages from the American embassy. How they had my Chinese phone number, I don't know. Maybe I had registered it somewhere, but I was getting messages from the American embassy that there was a virus moving around in China, that people were not sure what it was. But at that time in China, according to Chinese media, listening to China, talking to Chinese people, no one really knew anything. No one had any idea. There was nothing public being made. Transparency was at an all time low. It's very obvious that the Chinese government suppressed information. They delayed any kind of response purposely due to holidays and things like that, which of course did nothing except increase the spread. Why the Chinese government didn't do anything sooner? Um, of course, I think we really know why they didn't do anything sooner. They didn't want to take any blame. They didn't want to have to deal with all of these issues right at the time of a holiday season. So instead, they just let people infect each other, continue to travel abroad, which, of course, in the end ended up infecting the entire world, killing off the world economy, breaking down banks, killing small businesses. There has never been, it's funny because I look at how poorly I think that our president here in America is right now. And while I'm not getting into that, there has never been another president that has killed the world economy like Xi Jinping. There has never been another president. Like, we thought Chairman Mao was bad, right? Because Chairman Mao forced massive starvation on people in his own country. Well, Xi Jinping was like, hold my beer, and caused mass starvation essentially across the entire world, caused people to die, caused people to be locked inside of their homes, caused people to lose their jobs, and then single handedly slowed down the entire planet. Now, that is a major mess up. That is you couldn't plan that. People always talk about, like, I think he planned it. I don't. I think he was so dumb that he messed things up like that bad on accident. I don't think you could plan it to be that bad. I really don't. I think that that's what happens when you have such a foolish leader in control of such a major country. like China, and that is his number one, hands down, biggest failure. Not just as himself as president, but any president in history of the world. Presidents of the past and the present will bow down at the ignorance of Xi Jinping, and no one will ever will ever take that spot. It's not possible. Um, Number two, Xi Jinping's number two. Yeah, sorry, the camera over here. Number two, the crackdown on freedom of speeches and these types of things. We have never seen, since Xi Jinping has came in, we have never seen so many people go missing just for being critical of the government. To put things into perspective, when I went to China the first time, there was no, YouTube wasn't blocked, Reddit wasn't blocked. You could do essentially whatever you wanted just on the internet. Nowadays, where the internet is blocked, everything is controlled, everything is watched. You can't have discussions that are against political party, and if you do, you can literally be chained into a chair. Lawyers, journalists, and these types of people, that even are in religious minority places, um, have been affected by the censorship laws. And not only that, but they have reached into other countries. Think about that. Xi Jinping, his power of censorship has become so much that you're not even safe now being in Hong Kong, right? You can if you raise enough stink in Hong Kong, you know, you're going to be they're going to get you. If you're, say, another company in a foreign country, as an example, the NBA, when I was in China and they had discussions of China and Uyghurs and things in the NBA, they literally used their power to stop showing the NBA in China and force apologies out of people, out of players, out of companies. The censorship of Taiwan is insane. How airline companies, if they don't categorize Taiwan as a Chinese country, then they don't allow them to fly there. It is, it's just it's insanity, right? It's crazy. The amount of forced silence, the crackdown on these types of things has been taken to the extreme. It's something that you expect from like North Korea, and now it's something that you have to expect from China. And it's sad because China, you expect better from a country so large. You expect better from a country of technology and things like that, and so much, just so much there that they have potential. And then you see the government enacting laws and regulations that you would expect from a place like North Korea. Insanity. Xi Jinping's number two failure, censorship. Holy shit, censorship. Number three, uh, talked about it for a second. The Uyghur camps. Again, another insane failure. To think that you have something like the Uyghur camps. Oh, it's crazy. Admittedly, America, we made some of these mistakes before. Back when the war with Japan, and we took people and we put them in camps, and we realized that it is the biggest mistake, probably, one of the biggest mistakes in our government's history. And for China to mimic that today, to do that today, to put people into re-education camps, this is something that is on the level of like Nazism. But it's happening today. Think about that. It's happening in 2020, 21, 22, 23. It's happening now. It's happening today. You have people that Xi Jinping has said it's okay to rub the religion, to rub the culture, to delete a group of people from your country. Of course, not just re-education camps, but to take on people and to essentially spread their people into other parts of the country to essentially again erase them as a people, to mix them purposely. Now, when people create children and they have mixed relation couples, that's fine. But when a government plans it and pushes it, then there's a problem. You have something a little scary here, especially when those people are being silenced and re-educated, and you're trying to, and not really trying, but you are forcing them into a way of life that you want so that you can control them, because that's what it really is the Chinese government. Xi Jinping is afraid of losing power because some people put religion above government. And of course, you can't do that in China. The Uyghur situation has forever been talked about. It is astronomically scary to think that a government of that power, of a country of such size, would even begin to do these types of things. Without a doubt, another massive failure that even Chairman Mao would roll his eyes at. The Uyghur camps, number three largest failure. Unbelievable. It's insane. Um, the economic slowdown. Number four, of course, economic slowdown. Here's the thing. I don't think anyone really debates about the fact that China has grown over the last 20 years. Now, it's debated how fast they've grown economically, how well, how reliably they have grown. How much of that is real GDP? How much of that is just overinflated GDP? Of course, we know that the numbers from China are not realistic. Um, but Xi Jinping has created more debt um, in China than any other president. He has, of course, stopped a lot of trade with America. And if you know anything about the trade, America essentially made China rich in the sense that our purchasing from them has helped them astronomically. We have been their single biggest trade partner, buying all of their exports practically for years. And when you look at Xi Jinping, how his rhetoric against the West and against America, and how he has pushed the old ways of thinking again, the economic slowdown in China, again, largely because of COVID too, it's just unbelievable to think that you have taken a country of that size, of that population, and they were growing GDP. They were at least improving somewhat, and you have ruined it. You have hurt countries' trade. You have destroyed that, um, and not only has it hurt China, but it's hurt other countries as well. That's another thing. When you're a large country, you can't just think of yourself, unfortunately. You do have to do things that, are not going to kill other small countries, of course. And Xi Jinping has essentially done the opposite. Of course, Belt and Road, but we'll not get too much into that. We'll talk more about that in future video. But just putting other countries into debt, raising the debt of his own country, the over investment in things like real estate is insane. To push to have cities built that no one will ever live in, just so that you can put a fake GDP number out there and tell people that your country has grown when realistically you're slowing the economy. When you consider the fact that he has devalued the Chinese renminbi on purpose, when you consider the fact that he slowed the economy on purpose just to hurt other countries, it's insane. It's insane, and you've never seen another president really care less about his people in an effort to push his own government agendas. It's just really, again, it's hold my beer type shit. You've never seen anyone do it better or worse in this case, I guess you could say. The number five thing, the number five, of course, was the laws of Hong Kong, trying to change laws of Hong Kong, which of course led to the Hong Kong protest. Wow, another major failure. This, to me, on the world stage, this is, you look at Uyghurs, you look at the COVID thing, and I think when you look at how the world stage perceives things, this might be the worst. This is insane. To look at someone at a place like Hong Kong, and when you try to enact laws, millions of people go out to the streets. That tells you that you might be wrong. You could potentially just might happen to be wrong. But all they did was push back harder. The simple fact that they hired and pushed Chinese police down into Hong Kong and told them to act like they're from Hong Kong, a little scary. The simple fact that they took journalists from Hong Kong, which I talked about earlier, they took journalists and activists and people that were fighting for the civil liberties of Hong Kong people. They have, we know that there is a certain amount of time that on paper Hong Kong gets freedom from the mainland, and regardless, Xi Jinping has pushed against those and tried to take Hong Kong now. The violation of the one country, two systems. It's just the amount of afraid people that you see in Hong Kong is it tells you they don't want to be China, they don't want to be like China, they don't want to be controlled like Chinese people. So much so that they're willing to, again, protest in the streets, to do all of these crazy things, to risk their lives, and to fight against mainland Chinese police that are secretly down there, but not so secretly because it's obvious. And you have these governments that are pushing against them to tell these people that they're going to take away their civil rights. Think about that. When have we seen a country essentially take over another country like this? We've seen we've seen Russia, of course, go into Ukraine. And this is largely under the support of China. We know and understand that China wants to take Taiwan. We know that they're in the process of, taking Hong Kong. We've never seen a country in modern day history that wants to expand as much as mainland China under Xi Jinping. We've seen Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin talk about how they're going to change the world through expansion. What they're saying is they're going to take control of the world, and that they're going to control people, and that they're going to put the same laws that are in their country in mainland China on the rest of the world, so that they can be the one world government, so that they can be the power. Okay. Again, the Hong Kong protest, huge failure under Xi Jinping. Instead of thinking, hey, maybe I'm wrong. Hey, maybe I should rethink what I'm doing. Hey, maybe, you know what? Let's try and reconsider. Let's just see if perhaps we can work things out. No, he pushed harder. That is without a doubt Xi Jinping's top 5 failures as a president. The handling of COVID, the, of course, crackdown on media, freedom of speech, internet, things like that. Number 3, the Uyghurs. Haven't seen a situation like that in forever. Again, 4, economic slowdown of not just China, but the world. Holy shit. How do you slow down the entire world as a president? Only Xi Jinping could pull that one off. And of course, the Hong Kong protests. Those are, without a doubt, the top 5 failures of Xi Jinping, the worst president in human history. If you like this video, this live stream, please subscribe. The amount of people that watch but are never subscribed, it's insane. The simple fact that, I need to get over 6,000 subs and continue putting out content, I will do so. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to end the stream. Thank you for watching at this weird time of day, and have a good day.